Story time.
Story time.
Story time.
Hello. I am Mate the Great, and this is the story of how I became the Great. No, I messed up. Hello. I am Mate, and this is the story of how I became the Great. It all started back when I was a boy. I was climbing trees in my backyard. At the time, I lived with my family in Wyoming. Life was pretty poppin'. After several years in the Naval Society, Laquanda, my wife, and I had several children. Sadly, Laquanda was a walnut, so all of our babies were a human-walnut hybrid. It was quite nasty to see. That night, I had no idea I would be so ugly. My bro and I were playing Go Fish when all of a sudden, little baby Sydneys came crawling out from under my bed. Of course, I screamed and stepped on all the Sydneys. My pants were pink. Well, they were jeans, but they looked pink in the sun. Anyway, I got married and went to France. I had 2 kids and 2 dogs. Then we moved back to America because we wanted a stable home. Everywhere I went, I took those pink shorts. They never got old. But then, the pink shorts did get old, and I threw them into the ocean. After I threw away the shorts, I became nervous constantly. At one point, I was so nervous that my 2 families would meet each other. I left Wyoming and headed for Sweden. I soon began learning Swedish, and my life was once again poppin'. Gymnastics also became a large role in my heart. Oh, how I loved to tumble around. Tumbling became my primary source of transportation. It was caught on to. Soon everyone was tumbling about the streets, till the day came that changed my life forever. That night I lay in my bed and thought about how cows a farmer might have. How many cows a farmer might have. Oink, oink. Although my best friend is now gone. For the week I get tanner. My favorite game.
What the heck?
My favorite game is burping on cows. I love tuna. After about 2 hours, I got married to a girl who only speaks Japanese. She lives and grew up in China. After I licked my cousin's face, I said America. Mate thought different than the others. They thought foot, he thought poop. After 11 months, he had 18 kids with his Japan wife. Mate couldn't talk. He only spoke none. Oh, brother Mate, Pig yelled out. Pig was an animal, of course. He yelled, I have time. But he didn't have time, and we all knew it. He was a businessman with kids and a wife. I yelled, get out, and he left immediately. I went back to the Trapeze squad. I needed help with my latest work. I needed to become great. My plan was unlike other plan. I told it to my friends at the zoo, and they were so excited for it. After I called the ex-wives, I mean. No, you shouldn't have done that. I didn't tell them about the plan. I simply said, you have mated with the great mate of the Trapeze squad, and hung up. After we stopped talking, I quit the Trapeze squad. I also ended up leaving Sweden and heading back to the States. Once there, I reunited with my wives and introduced them to each other. They both left me. I decided to run for president as a way to get my confidence up. I was elected and immediately dropped nuclear missiles on the Russians. After that war began and I fled the solar system, I went to the next solar system where everyone spoke Swedish. I soon became their leader. That is how I became Nate the Great. Yeah.